Greetings, Commanders! Welcome back to Project Robin Part 2. Last week we talked about Robin and Lilith in the current meta, and kind of like a little project I've been working on, seeing how well they size up against the main meta, Rogers, Vega, Full Metal, Plasma, you know, all the mainstay commanders, how well these commanders hold up. So without further ado, let's get over to everyone's favorite Arc of War power couple, Lilith and Robin. So these commanders are somewhat interchangeable as far as their skills are concerned. If you didn't watch last week's videos, you probably should, because I'm going to kind of gloss over some of the things I covered a little better last week. And then I want to show you how Robin and Lilith are going to square up against Plasma and King in this video. Plasma and King! We haven't even done a King review yet, but that could be coming. That could be coming. He might be the next project. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. All right, if you have an idea for a new project commander, put it in the comments below. I haven't decided who I'm doing after these guys, but I have one more week I want to try with them, and then we'll move on to the next one. So first thing I want to point out, in our Plasma replay tonight, what's important is Plasma's Quantum Blast can be disabled by Chain. Because it's a skill that you can be disabled until the next turn for that troop slack, when those troops die, they won't explode and hit all of Robin's troops, which as an infantry commander is a big deal because infantry is a lot more squishy. Plasma Bomb hurts infantry a lot more than everyone else. So going against Plasma is always risky. And if you are going to go against Plasma, you probably only need to do troops in slots 1, 2, and 3. You don't need a full march because although it helps to disable, the Plasma Bomb's always going to hurt Robin and Lilith. Now, Lilith's skill does not disable Quantum Blast. If she kills the entire slot, that is still going to go off. But to counter it, Lilith actually has a 30% chance to trigger Light Veil, which is an HP shield. So instead of disabling the Quantum Blast, she instead just absorbs some of the hit. So partial reduction. Is it as good as Robin's Chain? Probably not, because Chain also reduces attack damage. And attack is what makes Quantum Blast work. So I don't know. Not to mention, I just realized Chain, if the attack is disabled, he's not going to be phased by it anyway. All in all, I think Robin's probably the better counter to Plasma, because even though Robin's skill doesn't stop them from attacking, the typical Robin build should be using double dodge gear. And if they don't have their skills or gems, then they're not going to be landing a hit anyway. So even though Lilith makes them skip their entire turn, it doesn't change the fact that they weren't going to hit anyway. So it's kind of like a little bit of a win more skill there. It's kind of like you're losing a lot of value because you're infantry anyway. Now, if she was a glass cannon build, that would be a little different, but I don't think you're going to do that with Lilith, but it is an option. So these commanders are kind of hand in hand. They're overall just great commanders. They both awaken with the same reagent. But personally, I'm starting to favor Robin a little bit more, but Lilith certainly is a lot more fun to look at. So without any more meandering, let's get to the replay. So in this replay, this is taken from my battle with WWK Deaths last week in our Galactic battle. And just a rough idea of the gear at hand here. I think I cover it. Yeah. So I'm going double dodge, double damage, and accuracy in the helm. The accuracy in the helm wasn't helping me. I wasn't landing any basic hits, but I was getting crit damage off. However, Robin's ambush skill doesn't benefit from crit damage, so maybe damage in the head would have been better. So if I should have used Devastation Helm like he did. But that's okay. And then of course, remember Ares and Lilith. I didn't cover this. Ares and Lilith combo. Yeah, they've been around. Everyone's known about them as disablers. They've always been a fair fight for Rogers if you watch last week's replay. But remember, Lilith and Robin require Ares. Ares Sagittarius. Ares dramatically weakens your opponent's damage, so you can take more hits if you get hit. I think that's a big deal, because without Ares, they're not that great. Okay, so there's the ambush skill. Now you'll notice, in a Plasma fight, typically, it's always best to have less troops than the Plasma you're fighting. Otherwise, there's a good chance you're going to one-shot him, and you're going to take a big bomb. Now, I have all 6 slots full of troops. That's going to be bad, because if I blow up one of his bombs, I'm going to get hit in all 6 slots. That's why I said slots 1, 2, and 3 instead of all 6 slots might have been better, because I would take way less damage from the bombs. And you'll see his melee damage isn't that big of a deal. So he has level 46 energy transfer. That's his dodge skill. If I miss, oh, did you see that? I didn't miss. So he didn't get the advantage of his dodge skill. But look at that Quantum Blast, level 60 triggers, and I lose 21 per slot. It was actually my Libra that hit him. Is that right? My Libra hit him? Yeah. My Libra hits him and triggers his bomb. If I would have hit chain, that wouldn't have happened, but boom. I took a lot of damage there. I literally lost 122 troops for his 15. Big damage. But now I've triggered Ares, and I should lower his damage quite a bit. So this time, the chain was on that time, so the Quantum Blast didn't do any damage. So there we go. I was able to nullify all the damage there. So that's quite good. And I still have too much damage that if I hit him, I would one-shot him. And that ambush is going to trigger a response, which is good because I did hit the Quantum Blast. And there's the Libra. Quantum Blast is on, so no damage. No damage. So we're nullifying plasma. All in all, you know, there's the chain, so no bomb's going to go off. I did land Sagittarius. No bomb goes off. So you're seeing from this replay, and I did a couple of these fights, that he's just an okay response to plasma. He does disable him a little bit, but he still takes damage from plasma's dodge skill. He can still get hit by unlucky one-shots if chain triggers, or chain does not trigger. So overall, that's kind of like kind of an exploit, just a better look at Project Robin. You know, these are his weaknesses. He's still going to be weak to plasma, but there are ways around it. Definitely use that Ares. Definitely use a 10% trigger haul. I'm pretty sure the 10% trigger haul is always going to be best on these commanders that are really dependent on their skills. So in this replay, let's just jump right into the King replay. For those of you that don't know, the big thing about King is that he has a skill that if he attacks and misses, he's guaranteed to go again, but this time he will hit. And damage can be up to 120% instead of just 100%, so he can actually do more than his base hits. But his skill can't crit. And then in this replay, Ramrod has full strength and weaken gear and accuracy pants, which is weird because you don't typically want to land hits on King. He must have just had like a preset strengthened, weakened effect gear that he put on and didn't realize. But anyway, this is me versus him. Now you can see there's only 5, 5, 5 in the front and then 20, 20, 20 in the back. And this is Tier 9 Walker versus Tier 10 Air. So I am a dodge build. This is a scary matchup for me, but I have a little bit higher tier, but I'm not using tier suppression. I have a little bit, I have 10%. But we got to start from the beginning. And what we're expecting to see here is that I'm hoping to disable him, right? I'm using that chain to disable him, slow him down, and then count on weakening his attack with that disable skill and Ares, and then using my ambush and Libra and Sagittarius to get all the hits I need to break him down. So I got to get through his front row first, and then his big rows in the back. Now, of course, his awakening is going to always hit hard in the front row because I am infantry. So the Mind's Eye triggers, even though his awakening miss, it doesn't trigger his Mind's Eye, but the main shot missed. So here comes the Mind's Eye hit. And boom. 90,000. Really not that bad. Really not that bad. 8 troops. 8 troops to his 5, mind you. Yeah, the chain's going off because he has first strike. That's not helping me. I'm behind him. So that's another problem with Lilith and Robin. If you don't have first strike, then you are always a turn behind. So all of your turn skipping and disabling that you want to do is always a slot behind. It's really bad. So attacking with these commanders can be dangerous unless you willingly sacrifice the troop in slot 1. You can always just put one ranger in slot 1 if you're attacking, and then troops everywhere else. And that way, you will lose that troops in slot 1, that ranger in slot 1, and then you will automatically get to attack in your second slot, and then you'll take the initiative. Your second slot will go, then his second slot will go. And if that doesn't make sense, think about it for a second, because that's kind of important. And yeah, push back a couple times, and you'll hear what I said. Okay, so here we go. The round continues, and we're getting through them. But I don't have to worry about these awakenings. It's the Mind's Eye that's the real problem. So here comes the dodge. The awakening actually lands. I got unlucky there. Watch this awakening. So I have 25 troops in the bottom slot, number 3. Boom, it hits me for 17 damage. Now the Mind's Eye, because I dodged, came back and hit me again for full. So that was a really good attack for him. He got lucky on the awakening. I'm just missing a little bit of dodge. But his Voltar pants paid off there for the awakening. But I was able to clean it up with that hit in the back. And overall, not a great battle. I'm losing quite a bit. I think he ends up winning in this overall points battle. So this is like a really good example of why it's really important to be, ahead of the game instead of always one turn behind. But there's the Ares, finally. Would have been a different story if that Ares triggered earlier, but there's King. King is really an up-and-coming commander. If you want to see him, hit the like button and tell me what commander you want to see in the next project. But all right, so the next one is going to be another plasma replay, just kind of for, I don't know, added anecdote, so you know the first one wasn't a fluke. And this is a pretty rough matchup. It can go a little more one-sided towards his way and my way. It's a pretty volatile matchup, unlike a Rogers matchup. This can be dangerous. It's a little bit like Vega versus Rogers. You don't know what you're going to get unless you see what happens in the first 2 attacks. So I get really lucky. Trigger everything there. That's nice. And that should substantially weaken him. But I still lost a lot of troops in this fight. But that's the matchup. That's kind of where Robin's fitting in against Plasma, who you're inevitably going to run into in galactic battles. It's maybe better to only run 1, 2, and 3 instead of 4, 5, and 6. And he's not a total, you know, devastating counter to Plasma yet. Dodger Roger can do quite good because he can go defensive stance against Plasma. But usually the best counter to a Plasma is either straight up tier suppression if you can, or a smaller Plasma and bomb the other Plasma. Because no matter how much gear and defense and HP and infantry commander stacks, it's never enough to avoid Plasma. So if you're ever going against Plasma, always use just troops in slots 1, 2, and 3 instead of all 4, 5, and 6. So that about covers part 2 of Project Robin. I just want to shout out all the guys that are helping promote the channel. I announced that paid feature for getting to 5,000 subs. So thank you everyone that's helping out and you know, joining in on that. For those of you that don't know, the promoters channel is real simple. If you subscribe to the channel for $5 a month, message me online and just let me know that you're one of the subscribers. It'll show up in the channel, and I'll invite you to this promoters channel where I put all of my videos when they're coming out tomorrow or this next week, or videos that got banned or shut down because they were sensitive or adult themed or whatever, or just bad information. So if you want to be in on that and you want to support the channel financially, I do appreciate it. You can get early access and access to some older videos. But if you can't afford it or you don't want to, don't worry. All the original Melt content is going to be coming out on the channel as scheduled, like I always do. So thanks. So yeah, if you haven't already and you're on this the channel membership, if you're one of the channel members and you haven't messaged me yet, I think there's, what are we up to now? 20 of you guys? I think there's 20, right? Let me see. Let me put it on the screen there. Looks like Keb, Craxy Bones, 22 members total. So if you're on this list and you're not in the promoters channel, message me online and I will invite you. Let's see if that pulls it up. There it is. That's the app. Find that, add me, Melt.aow, and I'll get you in the channel and get you early access to all the videos and all the deleted videos, including the 2 missing fireside chats. Fireside chat 3 and 8 I had to tear down. They're accessible to those people and not for public dispersal. Yeah, so thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and yeah, the exciting conclusion of Project Robin and Lilith. Arc of War's power couple. I'm shipping them right now. It's a thing. Robin and Lilith. All right.